Some doors should never be opened. Some roads should never be walked at night. And some places remember the ones who dare to enter. Tonight, three souls share what happened to them. Three stories, three encounters with something that was never meant to be seen. Story 1. The Woman with No Bones. Hussain Qureshi, Rajasthan, India. December 2012. On a cold December afternoon, Hussain was riding home. A wedding celebration waited for him, but fate had other plans. He noticed a woman standing outside an old abandoned house. A house that had been locked for 6 long years. No one entered, no one left. Yet there she stood. She smiled. She asked for a ride. He agreed because that is what kind people do. He would soon regret that kindness. When she sat behind him and placed her hand on his shoulder, something felt wrong, deeply, disturbingly wrong. Her hand had no bones, like gripping a bag of cold skin. He said nothing. He kept riding. Perhaps he did not want to know the truth. He dropped her near a graveyard at the edge of the village. She insisted he stop there. And when he glanced into his mirror just moments later, she was gone. The road was empty, as if she had never existed at all. That night, past midnight, Hussain and his cousin rode home through the same dark road. As they passed that abandoned house, the motorcycle died. No warning, no sputtering, just silence. And then sounds began. From inside that locked, empty house, the sound of water running, the sound of dishes being washed, a home with no residents. Yet someone was cleaning the kitchen at 1 a.m. An elderly neighbor appeared from the shadows. He told them to move the bike forward, away from that spot. The engine started instantly. He said nothing more, but his eyes said everything. As they rode away, two massive dogs appeared from nowhere, not barking, crying, then chasing. Hussain had never seen dogs that size in his life. He pushed the bike to full speed. They followed until the very boundary of his street. Then they vanished. Later that night, alone on his way back, more appeared. Dogs, donkeys, all wailing, all chasing. Hussain leapt over his own boundary wall, soaked in cold sweat, body trembling. 3 blankets could not warm him. The person was called. He prayed over Hussain. He said, "What you encountered tonight was not ordinary. You are alive only because of your mother. A blessed soul watches over her, and tonight it watched over you too." The next morning, that same presence spoke through his mother's body in a man's deep voice. It said,
"You are lucky to have returned."
"Great scholars have failed where you walked, but we will not always be there to protect you." Then it told him the truth. The yellow turmeric smeared on his cheek at the wedding, they are drawn to it. Turmeric. To them, it is an invitation. He was warned, never leave the house after dark wearing turmeric. Some invitations you do not want to send. Story 2. The Voice on the Mountain. Cheers. Six friends, a holiday, a picnic into the mountains. What could go wrong? Everything. Their vehicle broke down, so they took motorcycles. When those overheated, one friend had an idea. Let's go up into the hills. It'll be fun. Chris tried to stop them. No one listened, and so he followed. Because sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is follow your friends into the dark. They crossed two mountains, three mountains, until the road below was invisible, until the silence became absolute. Not peaceful silence, not quiet silence, the kind of silence that raises every hair on your body, the kind that whispers, "You are not alone." They set up camp, they lit the barbecue, they laughed, and then one friend stood on the peak and shouted his own name into the void. The mountains echoed it back. Everyone cheered, everyone took turns. They did not realize that in some places, when you call out into the darkness calls back. Dinner finished, they retreated into the tent. Then they heard it. From outside the tent, a voice, saying exactly what their friend had shouted earlier, word for word. But every single one of them was sitting inside that tent. Then the motorcycles began to fall, one by one. Then came the sound of bones being chewed, slowly, deliberately, just outside the thin fabric walls separating them from whatever was out there. They start praying. The sounds stopped. They unzipped the tent, and there, sitting in front of them, was the figure they had seen earlier in white. But it was not a man, it was a woman. Her face covered in blood, her mouth tearing into a cat. They ran. No direction, no plan, just the way. One friend jumped from too great a height. Bones cracked. No one stopped. When they finally reached their bikes, the paint had been stripped. Long, deep scratches, as if clawed by fingernails. Indicators broken. The bikes wouldn't start. A hotel worker on the road looked at their faces and didn't ask what happened. He already knew. "You went up there, didn't you?" he said. Not a question. God's other creations live in those mountains. You disturbed them, and you brought meat. He told them not to travel that night. They listened. For one full month, none of them felt like themselves. Some places are not meant for the living. Some mountains already have residents. Story 3. The Graveyard Kept Him. John Harry, Texas. It started with football. It ended with something no doctor could explain. John was 19, young, strong, full of life. He and his cousins played football near an old graveyard, a graveyard with crumbling walls, and a silence far too heavy for an open field. As darkness fell, he ran back to collect his forgotten jacket. It was there, but something had crushed it, stamped on it, with purpose, with rage. When he turned to leave, he could not find the way out. Every path looked the same, every shadow identical. And then he felt it, something steering him, not his own legs, not his own will. His body began walking deeper into the graveyard. His cousins found him. They dragged him home. He was speaking, but not in any language they recognized. For days he kept disappearing, always found near that graveyard, or inside an abandoned mosque beside it, unconscious, as if being drawn back, again and again. One morning, he pushed his own mother into a wall. It took his father and brother together to hold him down. They tied him to a bed. His screams echoed through the entire house. The priest came. He recited verses from Bible. John fell completely silent and stared. The priest said, "By God's command, whatever you are, leave this body." Then he told John's father the truth. "Take him to the other priest in taxes. Whatever has taken hold of your son is not weak. Do not delay." The next morning, when his father gently asked him to come, John answered, not in English, in Farsi. The priest translated, "He is my son. He will come with me to my home." They wrapped John's in a burial shroud. For 6 hours he traveled that way. When he finally arrived in Texas, an old man sat beside him, reciting the Bible through the night, through the dark, until morning. When John opened his eyes, it was over. But even today, the smell of raw meat makes him collapse. A sudden fever, blood from his nose. Some things leave marks, even after they leave. 3 people, 3 nights, 3 encounters with what lives beyond our understanding. They survived. But ask yourself, that shadow you saw last night, that sound outside your window, that feeling of being watched, was it nothing? Or was it something that hasn't finished with you yet? Sleep well.